Hi friends, what's up? This is your chat dot. Today I will explain group policy discussions topic step by step in MCITP part 2. Understand group policies. That should understand what are the group policies, managing group policy scope, then how to manage group policies or how to utilize implementation group policy GPO policy processing and effects. What are the group policies? What are the taken effects? A deep lock at setting and group policy system. Group policy objects. What are the objects of group policy? The group policy is infrastructure that allows you implemented specific configuration for users and computer. This group policy implementation of the infrastructure and specific configuration systems and users computers. You should understand. GPO is the contents are one or more policy settings managed with group policy management console. It is short form called GPMC. GPMC means managed with group policy management console. Group policy object container edit with group policy management edit. This means GPME. GPO group policy scope. What are the scope of group policy? Scope definition of object user or computers, which is GPO applies. This group policy scope object of the user's computers. GPO links. What are the GPO group policy links? This GPO can be linked side domain or organizational units and SDOU. GPO can be linked multiple sites or OU sites. GPO links definition maximum scope of GPO. The security group filtering. Apply that in an application GPO members global security groups filtering applications and scope of GPO with a link scope. Group policy refresh. What are the group policies or refreshment? This when GPO as the setting applied computer configuration startup and every 90 to 120 minutes take a time triggered. This GPU updates commands user configuration user login every 90 to 120 minutes trigger GPU updates commands. Local GPOs apply before domain-based GPOs. Any setting specification domains-based GPO will override of the setting specified local GPO. Local GPO on local GPO Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Server 2003. Multiple local GPO in Windows Vista and later. Local GPO computer settings and setting for all users domain. Administrative GPO settings or user administrator. Non-administrative GPO settings users not admins. For user GPO settings for specify user. If you domain members can be central manage using domain link GPO. What scenario might be local GPO by use? Mainly this GPO group policies are administration privileges. Some people's higher authorities is given. Another non-administrative people's are some users restrictions are also given this group policy. Domain-based GPO created Active Directory store domain controllers to default GPO default domain path. What is default domain path? This define accounts domain and password, account logout, and keyboard policy. Default domain policy is taken mainly password, account lockout, and keyboard policy. Default domain control policy means depend audit policy and domain control policy Active Directory. This group contains GPS, store ADS, Active Directory, friendly name, global Unicode identify, versions stored in system value domain controls and contains all files requirement and applying setting. Group policy object is GP. What we call actually two things stored in two places. Managing GPOs and their settings. Copy and paste into group policy objects container, Create new copy GPO and modify it. Transfer GPO at trusted domains such as test to productions, backup to all settings, objects, link permissions, accessories, controls. Restore the all same domain as back. Important settings into GPO same any domain. Migration table source of destination Unicode path. Replace all setting GPO not merge. Save report delete. GPO links. This group policy links is causes policy settings. The GPO is applied user's computer within that container. Links GPO site domain and OU must enable to GPM console. GPO can be linked multiple sites or OUS. Linked can exit but disable. This link can exit also, disable also. These links can be deleted but GPO remains. GPO Inheritance and Precedence. The application of GPO links each container results in the communicated effect called in the default process is set to first local, and after that step is site, after that third step is domain, fourth step universal and LSDO. Seen the group policies inherited tabs link order. What is the link order? This is updrift of GPO links, lower number of and higher list and precedent. Black hands attribute blocks. This group policies, some sites are some unwanted, some frequently social networks how to blocks. This block the processing of GPO from above. Enforce attribute GPO links. Enforce group policies blast through the block inheritance and GPO settings in the complicated setting lower. User security filtering modify GPO scope. Applying group policy permissions and ACL active directory light delegate habit as default authentication users allow apply group policy scope only user selected global groups remove authentication users. This group policy also you remove the users authentications and permissions. Sorry. Had approved to global groups is must global groups GPO don't scope the domain local scope users except for the selected groups one delegation tab click advance add appropriate global groups then apply group policy permissions then tab filtering sessions. What is security policy management? This group policy are mainly requirement the different people different groups are adding this. It is main event or main purpose in security of the policies. The enterprise's IT security policy, the security configuration settings, manage security configuration, create the security policy. Apply the security policy to one or more systems at a time, analyzing security settings against the policy. Update the policy or correct disappearance of system. Tools. What are tools there? Local group policy, domain group policy. The main local groups are divided one part and another part is domain groups are divided. Domain groups is the all over world. The security template snapping, security configuration analyzing, security configuration wild. This configuration of local security policy and domain group policies. This understanding group policy software installation GPSI short one. The installing support package is Windows install package. Optionally modify transfer MST patches. GPSI automatically install element. Download application package. Supported public optional required to has domain privileges. SSCM and development tools can support wide variety of installation configuration package. No feedback, no centralized indication, success or failure, no license manage. Understanding group policy softwares install GPSI continue. Software development start menu shortcuts appearance. Installing on demand files associates mode. Installing document applications open configuration, install logon, public application use, publish applications to users, the advertised program and features control panel, install and request assigning computer install startups, enable or disable GPUs and GPO nodes. This GPU details tab, GPO started drop down list, enable both computer configuration, user configuration. Settings will be applied CSES. All settings disabled. CSES will not processing GPOs. This computer configuration setting disabled. CSES will not processing settings computer configuration. Users configuration settings is the CS will not process setting users configuration. Loopback policy processing. What are the loopback? This user logon user setting for GPO scope computer objective are applied, creating instant user experience on computer. Conference rooms, kiosk, computer labs, VDI, IDS, TS, etc. Computer configuration policies and administrative template system and group policy. This mainly computer configuration policies and administrators and template systems and group policies. The user group policy loopback processing mode, replace mode. This loopback means replace mode. If we any crash out, that's after that is we replace the systems and this data also. This user gets no one user setting that scope to use. Only user settings are scoped completely. March mode. These users get user setting scope to user, but the settings are overlaid with user setting scope the computer windows. A details review of group policy processing. Computer start remote procedure call system services RPCSSS. Multiple universal naming conversion providing MUP. The multiple universal naming convention provide GPU policy client start opinionated order list GPOs that the scope of computers go to settings and auto write local site domain OU and force GPOs. The GPC process of the GPO in order should be applied, enable, disable permission, WMI filters. CSCR target process setting in the GPO. The setting configuration enable, disable or process. User login process reports for user setting every 90 to 120 minutes after start of computer refresh. Every 90 to 20 minutes after log on users refresh. Slow links and disconnected systems. This group policy the number of systems and depend on one server or the two servers, and that's why it is sometimes the slow link. This the server link is taken 1 to 3 minutes nearly and disconnected. Sometimes the server is not available and the error message is coming on the screen. 404 is not connected. Okay. The disconnected settings previously applied will continue to take effect. If your group policy setting is once it is set, it's continuously taking that particular effects. Expectation includes startup, login, log off, and shutdown script. Connected. Windows Vista and later operating system detected new connections performance group policy refresh. Windows was missed while disconnected. Understanding when settings take effect. This group policy replications must happen. GPSC and GPTs must apply. Group changes must be incorporated to log off and log on for users, restart for computer. Group files requests must occur. Windows XP, Windows Vista, and Windows 7 clients always wait for network startup and log. Setting may be required log off, log on users, restart computer to take effect. Manual refresh GPU date force and log off boot. Most CSES don't replay settings if GPU is not changed. Configuration computer administrative temple system group policies result and set of policies. The communicate effect group policy user compute usually within a scope of many GPU. Tools are repeated settings that were applied and the GPU own in the case of complication setting. Tools mode is affecting change group policies infrastructure or the location object active directory. Generating RSoP reports. This group policy result is that queries WMA to report actual group policy application requirement administrative credential of the target computer. This access to WMA firewalls and users Windows Media firewalls must have logged at least once. ROSP reports can be saved. View advanced mode show something is not showing HTML reports. View group policies, systems and computer name and H file name. Resultant set policy. Inheritance filters, loopbacks, and policy scope and proceeding factors examples. RSoP, the end result on the policy application tool, self-evaluation mode, and troubleshooting applications, group policy. RSoP, analyzing the group policy result wizard, group policy modeling wizard, GP result execute. Thanking you for tech dude. Please subscribe my channel. Please like my channel. This is MCATP. Thank you.